Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invitation today will be delivered by our own Craig Maxwell from the Auditor's Office. Thank you, sir, for the invitation. After the invitation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Morning, Judge.
Good
Commissioners,
morning.
if you'll bow your head. Lord, we rejoice knowing you pour out your love for us every day. As your children, we look for opportunities to make this place a better place in which to live. Every day is a blessing, even in times of struggle. Walk with us today. Give us the strength and courage to step out of our comfort zone, whereby we look for opportunities to make a positive difference. If we choose to walk on by our opportunities because of yesterday's problems or tomorrow's worries, we are not giving today the respect it's due. Lift up the hearts and hopes of those who are wondering where their lives are headed. Look out for those who are away protecting our freedom and also trying to protect the freedom of those who live in other places where life is so much different than our own. Jesus is our role model. He treated everyone with kindness and chose not to lash back at those who persecuted him. Judgment is not ours to hand out. Judgment comes at a later point. It's hard, but that's the gold standard. We should put the same effort in doing things that are hard as we do for things that are easy. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Make a difference today. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thanks, Craig.
Your Honor, before we get into the agenda announcements, Mr. Maxwell, we have an annual event that happens on Cesar Chavez's birthday, and there's about 10 of us, actually 11 yesterday, that normally go out and play golf. And I want to publicly recognize Craig Maxwell for getting a hole-in-one yesterday. It was his first
Excellent.
And the excitement that you
Was that putt-putt?
You know, Judge, you have to ruin everything. We weren't going to say that. But the one thing, you saw the expression on his face, that was 10 times greater the expression than he saw yesterday. I've never seen someone who almost broke out into a smile. So.
Well, it's hard to hold it in, but it was a big deal. Still had a little more golf to play, so you just have to keep on going there.
Here we go.
Where were y'all playing?
We were playing at Squaw Creek. Squaw Creek.
What hole?
Mr. Adair and Mr. Ray Campbell and GK and Mr. David Lobokai were in the group. It was a big day.
It was.
We all had a good time.
Congratulations.
That was his first hole-in-one.
Congratulations. Very much.
Excellent. Excellent.
Very, very good.
Your Honor, members of the court, we have several announcements as it relates to the agenda this morning. The first one is under the County Administrator section, item 8A2. This is the appointment or reappointment of the County Fire Marshal. There is revised court communication in your folder this morning.
I mean, we're not going to appoint him?
Yeah, but we're going to change the dates on it.
Okay.
The second agenda announcement is under Human Resources, item 8E3. This is a change in the table of organization from the Sheriff's Department. We have an addendum, actually an attachment that we have that we've given you in your red folders. This is a signed document by the sheriff that acknowledges that this is a captain's position that is temporary, dealing only with the Texas Jail. And once that program goes away, this position goes away. And then finally, Your Honor, when we get to the approval of bonds and certificates of self-insurance, which is item 9, we do have one certificate of self-insurance that Ms. Diamond will be presenting. Finally, members of the court, we're going to take something out of order. After we approve the minutes, before we get into the proclamations, resolutions, and presentations, we are going to move to the administrator section and take item number 1, which is the Blue Zones presentation.
Okay. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of March the 20th.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, as you probably saw up on the dais, you each have a bell. And
You just don't know what fun I'm going to have with this bell.
So the bell signifies becoming a member of Blue Zones. And we have several speakers for you this morning as it relates to this. And I'd like to take this opportunity now to introduce Mayor Betsy Price, who really doesn't need any invitation to this court. Mayor Price.
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
It's always nice to be back in what I still consider my home, and I love to come visit you guys as I knock your microphone out and see all my friends. And Craig, he may have left, but congratulations on his hole-in-one. That's quite an accomplishment. You know, we're here this morning to talk a little bit about Blue Zones. I'm so proud of the county for achieving this. When we were here and worked with Human Resources, the county's focus on wellness was big then, and it has just continued to grow. And as part of the Blue Zones project community, you guys really are helping Fort Worth step up. This is a critical piece for us as we stretch, all of us, to reach our stretch goals to grow the city and to grow our appearance nationwide and the perception. It's really about making the healthy choices easier for our community. It helps reduce lost productivity. It helps healthy children learn better, which increases our future workforce. It's economic development because businesses want to be in communities where people are engaged. It's not about being skinny. It's not about that at all. It's really about getting engaged with your community, learning a little bit about healthy choices, and making that one or two things that can improve your own health and make you a happier, more productive person. So Fort Worth will be by and far the largest city to be Blue Zones certified, and we will be there by the end of this year. And the county is a huge piece of helping us settle that. And you will be the largest county to date to be certified, and I expect you to take that to TAC and tell our friends at TAC that they need to get on board too. So thank you for caring. Thank you all, and to all of you who participated, thank you for helping make this happen. It really is a wonderful project, whether you're gathered with your friends, whether you're enjoying a glass of wine at 5, or whether you're out walking, or whether you're eating a plant-based, or just simply... Roy's giving me that look. Just one glass of wine.
Just one a day.
Wilder was looking for the donuts this morning.
No donuts.
I'm gonna tell you.
But really, I tell people all the time, and we tell our partners at Blue Zones Project, it's not about getting rid of the things you love. It's just about eating them less often and being sensible with your own diet, which is good for all of us. And it isn't just the diet. It's about being engaged, going to your faith-based group, getting to know your friends, getting to know your neighbors, taking your children to one of the parks. So thank you for caring, and thank you for letting us come today to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Tell us what you're going to have to do.
What do we have to do?
What do you want?
I was going to make a few more remarks.
Go
but
right
I
ahead. It's kind of anticlimactic, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Actually, just a few comments about Tarrant County. When we began the Blue Zones project, we divided up our buildings because we have such a large workforce. And we have 7 buildings that are in the downtown area that have qualified to be designated as blue zones. That makes the county qualified. And though there are over 2,800 employees that are in those 7 buildings. So they have been exposed to the blue zone process. We have reached out to your sub-court houses, and we're doing blue zones in those also. And as the mayor said, Tarrant County is the largest county in the United States that is blue zone certified. And that comes with a lot of hard work, and I'm going to ask the county clerk to come up, and we have 1 or 2 slides that talks about what she has done in her department, and I would like for you to observe how it is spread more than just blue zones.
No. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to say thank you to Amber, for sure, who helped us get started on the Blue Zone project. We met with her in 2017, and that prompted me for 2018 to get the 2018 County Clerk Healthy Initiative going. So January 2nd, we put something out, and I said, join us. We have 170 employees, and I said, every day, let's do something and move. We put challenges together that we do daily, every month, and this is some of the things we reported on the first 2 months I want you to know about, working with Amber and our team. And these are some of the people that joined the challenges because to me, us having that blue zone, we're going to go further. And this year, we're going to stay the course. So, there it is. So, in January, we decided, you know what, team? Can we take 10,000 steps? Can everybody log in 10,000 steps? And we did. And by logging in 10,000 steps, we actually, the team, people who chose to participate, it was voluntary, except for management, you walked all the way across the United States and back, and that's what we did in January as a team, our clerk's office. That's 6.8 million steps we did. Next slide. We, in February, decided we're going to walk across Tarrant County. In the clerk's office, we are located in all the subs. Can you go visit your friends? Can you take enough steps in 1 month and travel around the county? And our team that decided to participate, we went from the tip of El Paso all the way to the tip of Orange County, which is across Texas, and then we walked back then to Fort Stockton. And that's what we did in January as a team of voluntary participants. And this is an example when Andy and I went up to TCDRS to say we're going to get our staff moving. I offer challenges, I give prizes, Amber gives us prizes, we incentivize, and that's what we're doing. So I just want to say thank you for bringing the Blue Zone on. We are looking forward to it. These are some of the participants. I appreciate it. Kristen Cohen, my executive assistant, runs all the challenges. This month we're going to be doing push-ups on the wall. Amber provided bands, leg bands at your desk. You can do that, and we're going to move forward. We want people walking during the day on their breaks to get everybody healthy. So thank you for supporting this, and know the county clerk's office, we're doing our part to make sure we get motivated. Thank you.
And then finally, Your Honor, I would like to introduce Matt Dufresne, who is the VP of Blue Zones Project Fort Worth.
Well, thank you, Judge Whitley, commissioners, and thank you, GK, for the introduction. And I'm so impressed by all that walking across the country and Texas. Well done. So, as you know, Blue Zones Project is a community-wide and community-led, just as we've been witnessed today, well-being improvement initiative. And it's really all about making the healthy choice, the easy choice for everyone who lives, works, and plays in Fort Worth. And I always want to acknowledge that Blue Zones Project wouldn't happen without all of our sponsors, and especially Texas Health Resource being our lead sponsor. But we also want to acknowledge all of our sponsors, and there certainly are many. And we couldn't do our work without the ongoing partnership with the City of Fort Worth. And everyone knows Mayor Price's ongoing support for Blue Zones Project, but also the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce and you, Tarrant County. So again, we say thank you. Now I want to read the names of the 7 Tarrant County locations that are newly Blue Zones Project approved. And when I do so, I think we have maybe a representative from each of those locations. And if you would just stand when I read the name of your location. Tarrant County Administration Building, Family Law Center, 1985 Courthouse, Plaza Building, Vandergrift Civil Courts Building, Tarrant County Public Health, and Tim Curry Criminal Justice Center. And then, as GK mentioned previously, there's 3 additional locations that are not yet approved. We know they will be soon. And they're working to that end, and we want to mention them as well. So the Southeast Sub-Courthouse, the Northwest Sub-Courthouse, and the Northeast Sub-Courthouse. So on behalf of Blue Zones Project, I want to congratulate Tarrant County and these 7 locations and the nearly 2,800 employees represented who are now officially being recognized as being Blue Zones Project approved. So let's give them a hand. And the other honor, which I certainly want to mention, is that Tarrant County is now the largest county government worksite in the nation to earn Blue Zones Project approval. So well done, Tarrant County. Now, it's a tradition of our organization to ring a bell, which you've already done, in celebration of success. So in a moment, we're going to ring the bells. We're going to present our official certificate to you. But in Fort Worth, we knew that we couldn't just ring any bell. It had to be a cowbell. So in just one moment, we're going to ring those bells together. But again, I say thank you for your support. Congratulations to Tarrant County. And thank you for everyone who made this happen. Mayor, will you join me in ringing the bells?
Y'all come on up here. Yeah. Y'all make this a joint presentation. Don't forget your bell.
These guys do this.
So we'll count to 3 and then we'll ring the bells.
Okay, y'all can get around me now.
All right.
Hold it up a little bit higher. You'll be able to see us. It'll be even better.
So 1, 2, and 3. Let's ring those bells.
Did we get all the pictures? Your Honor? Your Honor?
No. You can't have my bell. No. Wait a minute. That's right. She only got the flash twice. We gotta have at least 3 flashes.
Wait a minute, wait, hold on.
You don't need the banner, or what do you just need the picture?
The bells were on the fun.
You're gonna get my bell. She's after my bell. Hold on. Here, hold.
Down, picture down. Can't see Betsy. Let's get Betsy's name.
All right, lots of cameras.
Do we dare leave them with the bell?
I gotta keep this bell.
It's on your.
You ain't getting my bell. You ain't getting my bell. Chow time.
Well,
Chow
no,
time.
we did.
Okay, do we have the bell?
Mid-May. JK.
She only walked out there with one bell.
Last time I had one of these, it was hanging under a bull with me on top. Sometime.
Your Honor, we could receive and file.
You were hoping you were right on top.
Move to receive and file.
Second. We have a motion and second to receive and file the presentation. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have some folks to introduce.
Your Honor and fellow court members, I would like to introduce to you a group of young emerging leaders from Grand Prairie High School, led by Mr. Josh Mock. They are here to learn about county government. This morning, they met and Vinny talked to them about public health. Mary talked to them about community outreach. and they're going to learn more about the job and the duties.
Did you introduce them to the alumni from Grand Prairie High School?
Not. Oh yes, I will do that. I'll let you do that. And so this afternoon, they will learn about human resources and so forth. So would you please stand and meet Judge Whitley, an alumni from Grand Prairie High School.
I graduated a little bit before y'all's time. I graduated a little bit before your parents' time.
And what year was that, Judge?
1971. You didn't realize folks that old were still alive, did you?
When dinosaur was still walking around.
No comment. I will tell you, the school doesn't look anything like it looked when I was going there. So congratulations. We're sure glad that y'all came out and visited with us today.
Well, welcome to Tarrant County. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
You bet. Commissioner Brooks, I believe you have a resolution.
Thank you, Judge. But before I present my proclamation, I want to make this announcement that T.C. Webster is retiring from Tarrant County. And we'll have a reception in his honor this Thursday, March 29th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Precinct 1 Maintenance Facility. You're all invited. So come see TC, catch him before he's gone fishing. All right, I've got a proclamation recognizing Cesar Chavez Day, which will be presented this coming Saturday. It's for ratification only, and I move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Wynn.
Your Honor and fellow court members, this morning we have the pleasure and the honor of recognizing a very special leader in Tarrant County, and more particularly in Kennedale ISD. And Your Honor, if you don't mind, please read the resolution into the record, please.
Whereas Kennedale Independent School District Coach Richard Barrett, career as a teacher and football coach spans 39 years, beginning in 1979 at Everman ISD, later at Godley ISD, and now at Kennedale ISD, where he is currently in his 18th year as head coach and athletic director. And whereas under his leadership, the KISD Wildcat football team has accomplished their best 4 consecutive years with back-to-back undefeated seasons, 4 straight undisputed district titles, a state semifinal finish in 2016 and in 2017, state championship Class 4A Division I title game. And whereas Coach Barrett's many achievements include 17 straight playoff appearances, and with the outstanding season finish for 2017, an overall high school coaching record of 202 career wins, 74 losses, and 1 tie. And whereas with these accomplishments, and after leading the Wildcats to their first state championship title game in school history, Coach Barrett was recognized as Coach of the Year by Inside High School Sports DFW. And whereas during his tenure, Coach Barrett has helped build the Kennedale Wildcats into a state powerhouse, and the district is fortunate to have such a coach who gives his time, knowledge, talent, and resources to his players and students, as well as to all who work with him, and who continually demonstrates a passion for helping kids reach their full potential. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby wish to congratulate Coach Richard Barrett for his success and commend him for his leadership both on and off the field. In witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 27th day of March 2018.
I move for its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And I note with interest that Coach Barrett started his career in Precinct 1. Therefore, we trained him.
And
for
with
the
him,
world.
Coach, please come to the podium. And with him, we also have Deputy Superintendent Dr. Missy Glenn. His son, and after-school center for education director, Logan Barrett, and also the assistant coach of the football team, and Miss Tracy Williams, public relations coordinator. We have two. That's how special you are. Yes. Use the middle. This one.
That camera's gonna flash at least 3 times, so don't move until you've seen at least 3.
Good, Coach. Please share your wisdom.
I won't take long.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I certainly do appreciate the court having us here today. Kennedale ISD is a very, very, very special place to me. The success of our team is, as you well know, any time that there's a team effort, there's a lot of people that are involved, the working parts and the nuts and bolts, so to speak. But our school board, the board of trustees, our administration, coaches, players, most importantly, but parents alike, were very, very supportive of what we did. And that's the reason that we had the success that we had. And a season like we had, playing in the state championship game, was one for the, certainly won't be soon forgotten by anyone. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate you having us here today, and also tell you how much I love Kennedale ISD. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your passion of helping kids and the commitment that you've made for your entire life to help those kids.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Before we move on, one of the things I want to ask you to do is to please keep Ron Wright and his family in your prayers. His father passed away Friday night, Saturday morning, passed away in his sleep. And I'm not sure exactly how old he was, but 93. I thought he was in his 90s. So, again, died very peacefully, but please keep Ron and his family in your prayers. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move for the approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have one additional item this morning, members of the court. That's item A2. We're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve the reappointment of Randy Renoir as a Tarrant County Fire Marshal for a 2-year period beginning April 14, 2018, in accordance to Section 352.011 of the Texas Local Government Code.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're fine. Thank you. Before we go any further, one of the folks that I meant to introduce is someone who is new to my team, Teresa Roberts. Joined us today. This is her first day, so be sure and stop by and introduce yourself. And again, Teresa, welcome. And I even cleaned off my desk so that she could start off with a brand new start.
Really? Welcome.
You're not going to believe it.
Welcome.
You're not going to believe it. Rachel's not going to, well, Rachel believes it because it's all on her desk now, or what, her new desk. Ms. Tidwell. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 2 items we're asking the court to consider this morning, and the first is to receive and file the quarterly investment report for the period ended December 31st, 2017.
Move to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our other item that we're asking you to consider is to receive and file the auditor's report of the registry of the county court court accounts with the county clerk ended September 30th, 2017.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote.
Thank you.
Motion passes unanimously. Every once in a while, someone gets dementia, and they just forget where they are, and they travel, and they get in the car, and they move to other places. And I see Mr. Mayfield, Ken Mayfield, back there from Dallas County. He must have gotten lost today, and he's just wandering aimlessly. So Ken, welcome. Stand up. Ken is a former county commissioner out of Dallas County, also a former president of the National Association of Counties. So there's three of us in the room at this point. Well, there's two past and one current. So welcome, sir.
Welcome, Ken.
Ms. Glenn.
Move to receive and file personnel agenda.
Second.
We have a motion second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
So we have two additional items for the court this morning. The second item, we're asking the court to approve an out-of-class pay extension for Precinct 1. Commissioner Brooks is requesting an out-of-class pay extension for Curtis Knowles effective April 1st. Mr. Knowles will be assuming the duties of Mr. Webster, who will be retiring from county service, as was announced by Commissioner Brooks.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our third and final item, we're asking the court to approve a table of organization change for the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is requesting the creation of a captain's position effective March the 27th. This incumbent, will be working on implementation of the jail management system project. As Mr. Maney has indicated, we are anticipating that this individual will serve, and then the position will expire when that service is completed. We're anticipating that date to be December of 2019.
Move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Beecham.
Hi.
Morning.
Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. We have one item for your consideration this morning. A 6 seat is still better than a 0 seat.
I've heard rumor to that effect.
We got to dance. Y'all
sometimes
couldn't.
it's just not worth the embarrassment of showing up.
We got to dance. Y'all couldn't even buy a dress or a corsage.
I understand.
But we probably should have Ubered because we weren't there long.
I hope you didn't rent the hotel rooms for the whole stuff.
We have one item for your consideration this morning. It's a bid award recommendation for RFP 2018-060, RFP for the development and implementation of HIV patient survey. Recommendation will be to award per the terms of the contract, awarding to National Service Research. If approved, we're seeking contract approval from the court.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Commissioner Fickus.
Yes, I have an interlocal with the City of Colleyville. We work on 4 different streets. I move for approval.
Second.
8K1, A, and B.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Johnson.
I have an interlocal agreement with Lakeside. It's been approved by the DA's office.
Yes, Commissioner, it has.
Move approval of item 8K1 or 2, A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments today? There being none, then we will go to the approval of the bonds.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You have just reappointed the fire marshal for a new term beginning April 14, 2018, and we will respectfully request that you approve the certificate of self-insurance by Tarrant County for that new term in the amount of $2,500. It's been signed, it's in proper form, and we request your approval.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius, briefing items?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have one final item to bring to you this morning on briefing. This concerns an update and a report as relates to the minority business certifications. Mr. Andre McEwen is here to address the court at this time.
Your Honor and court members, we also have a number of leaders in our community who are stakeholders of the North Central Texas Region Certification Agency here with us. I want to make sure that we properly introduce these leaders. We have the NCTRA chairperson, Ms. Zarin Gracie. We also have Michelle Benson, who is the Forest Hill councilwoman, who is here with us as well. We have Ms. Ruby McEwen, who is a 40-year retired teacher in Tarrant County. Certainly we have Chaplain Stockland. I'm sure you heard of him from down the hallway. Ms. Erin Roseman, who is the Assistant Director with the City of Arlington and also a board member of the North Central Texas Region Certification Agency. And last but certainly not least, our presenter this morning, Mr. Andre McEwen, who is a purchasing agent at Tarrant County College. Am I right?
Commissioner Wynn, I'm the Supply Diversity Manager for Tarrant County College District.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And immediate past chair.
Yes, sir.
Of the agency.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time and your presence here this morning.
Thank you. And let me say good morning, Judge Whitley, Commissioners, Tarrant County. As a Tarrant County native and present Tarrant County resident, I want to say thank you for your service and thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be here. I'm representing North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, an agency which this body helped to form 26 years ago as one of the founding 8 members of North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency. I'm the former chair, vice chair, and treasurer over the last 6 years representing Tarrant County College. So I want to briefly provide you an update, introduction to some, reintroduction to others of the agency that was created back 26 years ago. The agency, as you can see, through MOU 1990, fast forward to 1992, we were housed in Arlington, Texas, next door to COG, North Central Texas Council of Governments. Through a reason of having to have our vendors not to go to 17 different agencies to get certified, back in 1992 it was determined that there needed to be a centralized location for certifying, verifying, validating the ability, capability, and capacity of vendors, minority women-owned businesses throughout North Texas. So thus was created North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency. Also in 2002, the U.S. Department of Transportation mandated that there be a state unified certification program, and I'll show you in the map in a moment that there are 6 members of the certification program, one of those being North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency. As you can see, the certification provides for MBE, WBE, women's business, minority businesses. Most recently, we decided, based on disparity studies, that we needed to include small business, which is race-neutral businesses. So we also do those as of January 1st of this year. DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprises, and ACDBE, which is Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So those concessionaires at the airport, they also have a certification requirement for concessionaires at the airport, primarily through the DFW Airport Small Business Department. This is a jurisdiction map of the 5 certification agencies throughout Texas. We are the largest. North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, certifies 16 counties, so it's the largest in terms of size and scale. As you can see, you have City of Austin, City of Houston, Corpus Christi, and South Central Texas. In addition, you have the Texas Department of Transportation. All of these agencies work collectively, collaboratively, uniformly in terms of certification. If you can imagine, obviously, I-35, I-820, 635s through the Department of Transportation, there's a reciprocal arrangement such that if you have a certification in one of these jurisdictions, NCTRA will accept that certification. So thus is the TUCP jurisdiction map, thus the reason, the creation of these agencies, thus at the end of the day to support small businesses who have some cost prohibitive due to cost availability to be able not to have to go to various locations. They can come to one centralized place and get certified. and thus North Central Texas, again, as you can see, is the largest with 16 counties. Just want to highlight all of the certification agencies that serve Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm sure you've heard of HUB, you've heard of DFW Minority Supply Diversity Council, the Women's Business Enterprise Southwest, and TxDOT, and NCTRCA. So this gives you a snapshot really of how we function, what we do, our area of concentration, fee and memberships, site visits that we do, appeal processes, and federal regulation. North Central Texas Regional Certification is certified by the USDOT and the United States of Civil Rights based on federal dollars that come through Texas with requirements related to minority women-owned businesses. So those like DFW Airport, like NTTA, they have to comply with those regulations, those goals, those stated goals related to federal dollars, such that NCTRCA has oversight of that certification process. Most recently, because of the demand.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When you say site visit, what does
Yes,
that
sir.
mean?
So in terms of the process, validation, verification, ownership, management experience, we physically, the specialists go out to each site and determine through a site visit who owns the company, who's running the company, expertise, location, verification of operation primarily. So that is done in conjunction with the certification process.
Okay, thank you.
Most recently, I just want to highlight, since the inception of the agency, there was no charge. But due to the demand of vendors and the demand of each program that you'll see all the 17 entities, the cost factors associated and the fact that it is member funded, we made a determination we need to offset those dollars versus increase in the members' fees. We instituted a $100 new application as well as a $50 renewal because the demand on the agency, you'll see some activity here in a moment, has gotten to the point we've made a determination we need additional revenues to keep the agency going. And that's a big change upon, as chairman during my period, that we made sure we needed to fund it to make sure it would continue to be functional for those vendors getting business. Today, home office, Arlington, Texas, we have a third-party Armand Resource Group. That basically means a specialist staffing firm that operationally those 5 USDOT certified specialists are part of their staffing team. So we manage them through our regs, through our bylaws. We have 16 North Texas public entity members now. That's grown since inception. We have 2 associate private entity members. So firms like you've heard of Ferrovial, who's done work on our Chisholm Trail firm, Austin Commercial. These firms have specific local MWB programs within their company. So you can't just be a firm showing up to try to get access to data and say, we support. You have to have a physical program dedicated to providing vendor support opportunity through the certification process. So we have Austin Commercial, many of you know Austin Commercial, and Ferrovial. The mission, as stated 26 years ago, is still the mission today, to provide assistance through education and counseling to applicants throughout the certification process in order to build a certified minority business vendor pool. So basically, at the end of the day, it's building a vendor pool to support direct business to the member entities. Lastly, the goals, each entity has their own specific goals, so we support those goals. We do not get involved. The agency does not get involved with those goals. We just support through a pool, through the certification process. Right now, it's 3,700 vendor pool, which probably will grow to about 5,000 in the next 5 years based on the activity of business coming through Tarrant County, North Texas. And you see the certification types that we do. These are the current members, founding members, as you can see, and I apologize, there is not a new tollway authority called North Tarrant. It's North Texas Tollway Authority, so I do apologize for that error there. But these are the members, as you can see, and we continue to grow. We continue to have cities to inquire about being a member based on their volume of work that's coming through to certify and ensure. And this, bottom line, is an extension of their purchasing departments, their business development departments, to have this agency available. Benefits, I spoke to those briefly. You've got a secure, maintained database of vendors that have access to. The process takes about 90 days, given all the information that you have to receive. There is a priority request in those cases where there's a bid out and you have someone in the queue to be certified. We have a priority request based on the membership. We do certification workshops, management supporting reporting tools that you can get out of the database that I'll show in a moment. Best practices through the 17 members of how to best provide the goals and support the vendors who are coming through to get certified, and the TUCP relationship, reciprocal relationship that I mentioned earlier. Keys certification that Commissioner Wynn made reference to, completion of the application, the clock doesn't start until we receive all the data. A lot of times.
And the check.
And now recently, the $100. Yes, sir. Yeah. Verification of ownership and control, management experience, business assets, this all goes into the process of certification and assuring that who owns the company is the owner, who runs the company is that person, and the location where the business is located. This gives you some tasks related to those specialists, specifically what they're doing, and think of this as your staff. If you had this internal, this is what they would be doing. Certification approvals last year, total 548. Renewals, that's our largest task that these specialists do, 1,524 as of last year. And you can see all the data. Outreach events, collectively, they did about 40 of those. If you see the trends first quarter of this year, you can see we're going to exceed those numbers probably by double or more based on the volume of various projects taking place in Tarrant County and North Texas. So I anticipate just times 4 based on first quarter, we'll be running double and more based on the volume. So with that said, the board's got to make some decisions on increased staffing. We are in an online process now. We all paper probably about 3 years ago. We're online. We're trying to go 100% online. We're running about 70% online right now. We're trying to move that to more online, but you can imagine with the specific information related to tax returns and various other confidential financial information that we've got to be very cautious in how we proceed. So this just gives you a snapshot of the volume that's taking place in North Texas right now that the operation is taking care of. This is a snapshot of the management system. It's called B2G. We refer to it as NCTRCA Certification Management System. It houses the 3,700 to 4,000 vendors. We can pull data by ethnicity. We can pull data by location. We can pull data by ownership, all those components within the system. This is the homepage of that dashboard that you see that we all, as members, access right now. It shows you 3,754, so that number that I said is up to 54 now. Pending, those pending are not included in the 3,700. That means that there are 428 pending applications in the system, and then there's 476 renewals that are taking place. A lot of metric stats that are taking place that we access. I'm sorry, Commissioner Brooks.
Can you also pull data by business type?
Yes,
Whether
yes.
it's
So
a construction contractor,
yes, sir.
or a supplier of goods and services.
Yes, sir. So there's a code that's called the North American System Classification Code that designates the type of business: construction, professional services, geotechnical, architect, engineering. Yes, you can do that.
Good.
Yes. So this is our information system. The major benefit of being a member is to be able to access this real-time. Specialists are continuing in and out of this system on a day-to-day basis to make sure when we pull it for a request for proposal, request for qualification, any type of procurement, we can access this immediately and get that and send that out to those who are qualified and have those specific scopes of work to be able to do that work. Just a breakdown to give you a feel for the breakdown by ethnicity of that 3765 that you saw earlier. This is pretty even for the most part, and this helps the purchasing departments of those 17 member entities to determine how to focus their efforts on making sure, obviously you see 7% Asian Indian Americans, Caucasian females 30%, 31%, so a good mix, but still some opportunities to focus. And so we around the table during our board meetings, we look to best practice to how do we focus in on making sure through our departments that we can support those vendors within various ethnicities to support and genders to support that procurement process in terms of the goals that those individuals departments have. Finally, this is just a breakdown in state DBE firms by county. As you well can imagine, Dallas is first, Tarrant is second. The Tarrant County number, based on the fact that we just included, and Aaron Roseman, who's here representing the city of Arlington, they've got a lot of work going on, as we know. Commissioner Wynn, I know you know that. So I anticipate that number moving north pretty quickly based on various projects taking place, obviously in Tarrant County. So the need for the agency is there to help support the procurement departments within the particular member entities. Finally, any questions?
Financial statements, do you have a copy of your financial statements?
Yes, so we have so as far as the agency, yes, sir, we have a third party that does unaudited financial, but submit as a governmental entity nonprofit. Yes, sir, we do, and we're good. And that's fortunately we have our treasurer from City of Arlington, Aaron Roseman, who's here. She keeps us on task. So yes, we do.
If we get a copy of that too, I think one of the things that we talked about when we met earlier
Yes,
was looking at that going through this year's budget process.
Okay, all right. Okay. Other questions? And you should have at your desk.
I just have a comment.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That as we go forward looking at the JPS hospital expansion, it's going to be important that we have all of the tools in place to make sure that the contractors that we hire to do that work reflect the diversity of our community. This certification agency is part of the infrastructure that we will need to make sure that we are set up to do the best job that we can to make sure that that contractor group does reflect our community.
And just a point of reference to that note, as you saw the volume of the agency and what's going on, we want to make sure that we're financially fit to keep up with the volume. So obviously we have, and you saw, Judge Whitley, the breakout of the member entity funding. So, obviously we see that possibly as two. The JPS, similar to Dallas, it was a Parkland hospital expansion, so they were a member also. Just a thought and recommendation. Okay.
Calm down.
Okay. All right. I want to secure, and seriously, this is about making sure we're funded. The agency is growing, and I don't want it to see it not being able to be a task to do what it needs to do. To your point, Commissioner.
Now, Andre.
Yes, sir.
It's important to me
yes, sir.
that the services and the benefits that your agency offer
yes, sir.
are available not only to the minority-owned businesses,
sure.
but to any small business.
Sure.
Can you talk toward that, please?
Definitely. And as a result, one of the terms that I didn't bring up was disparity studies. I'm sure each of you have heard of availability A&D studies. There are 4 A&D studies taking place right now. DFW Airport's about to do availability disparity study. City of Dallas, NTTA. So with that said, it was determined, we made a determination as a body, NCTRCA, to include small business enterprise as of my going out last year. So as of today, yes, sir, we are seeing an uptick in small businesses. Some already have that qualification because they're qualified as small, but before we were just a minority and women-owned business 26 years ago. Now we have included SBE as a part of that buffet certification process. So yes, that is definitely a part of the portfolio now. We're seeing an uptick of those SBEs coming through, race neutral in most cases. So yes, we are definitely looking at small businesses that has nothing to do with ethnicity and minority status. Yes, sir.
I have had personal experience with your agency.
Okay.
As a small business owner.
Right.
Back in the days before I became county commissioner, I owned a small business.
Right.
And I tried to maneuver the maze of government and public-private partnership contracting.
Sure.
And as a small business owner, we were very busy taking care of business, leave alone the time nor the resource to cut through the layers of that bureaucracy. And after a year of trying with multiple different agencies, we were introduced to your agency. And y'all sent out 2 individuals and met with me and my team, and within a matter of 6 months, my organization became certified. Okay. And as a result, we were able to participate in the government biddings and so forth. Some successful, some not so successful. Sure. But the point of my experience is your agency actually sent out individuals to help guide us small business owners through the process, which we typically find to be very foreign in a private sector. Sure. Okay? Sure. But y'all did that, so I do appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Commissioner Fickens. Yes, sir.
Is there a cost to the minority business or any business that comes involved?
So
there's an
the only
Commissioner Wynn was talking about his business. Does his business pay any kind of cost or fee to the organization?
No. Yes. The only fee here, Commissioner Fickens, is the application fee. That's a one-time fee. They pay $100 as of January 1st.
But then there's a renewal fee.
Then every 2 years, so every 2 years, MBEs have to be, we renew for any change of ownership, any change of anything. So there's a $50 for that. But those are one time, yes, sir.
Is there a fee to an organization like Tarrant County, Dallas County?
Yeah, yes, member funded fee, yes, sir. There is. And that's broken down by population primarily. So, and I'm based on what you saw, I'm gonna make this break. So 250,000 population or less is $23,000. Over 250,000 is $39,888, and that's equally amongst, based on where you fall, paid by each member entity.
I thought when you came to me it was $45,000.
No, sir.
Is that just a special deal for Tarrant County?
45. I'll have to defer to my board members, sir, because I don't make that decision.
See, I mean, one of the questions that I had,
yes, sir,
was going back to that population size.
Right.
As far as the unincorporated area, we're below
the
250.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of double counting our people twice. And if JPS comes in, you're counting them 3 times.
Well, keep in mind, 26 years ago, there was the equity conversation, fairness amongst the founding member entities. So, and we've carried that on to today to make it fair, equal, and understanding, you know, duplication of service areas, understand that, but we're trying to imperative fund the agency as well as support each of the, based on population, an equal standard that we can, and we've based it on that.
It might also be a good thing to look at what your total spend is for your budget, because the contracts that we're doing are based upon, to some degree, the relative size of our budgets as opposed to the number of people that we may have in here.
Sure.
And you know, our budget is large, but it's not as large as some of the bigger cities that we've got in this process. So, I mean, that's been one of my things. And then also the fact that you know, your fee, you did start, you know, the $100 and the $50, those are both new.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed that there's 2 that are free, but the other 2 are substantially higher.
Yes, sir.
Than what y'all are looking at. So.
And those are member. You can see those as, you know, more vendor member versus member funded fees. So they're similar to chambers. I would refer to those similar to Chamber of Commerce's, the DFW Minority Supply Diversity Council, and the Women's Business. So that's membership, being a member, the benefits and those things. Whereas, you know, jointly we're funding an agency that we probably don't have a one-to-one benefit back on those dollars, but we're funding that jointly in terms of making sure that support of the agency and equally amongst those member entities. So 8 of the member entities pay $39,888, and the others pay the $23. We have associate membership, which is $10,005. So we're continually.
Didn't you just get to come to the parties?
Now you get to
might
come.
take that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it's 39,888?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we have kept that flat, based on the board. We've kept that flat for the last 5 years. We anticipate doing that. We're just trying to get new members to come in so we can maintain that level. But it's growing. Let me just say this region's growing and the agency's growing since inception. At your desk, your chair, you should have had the gala, and you have representation there. Miss Terry Labaz, who's here, I think, in the audience, and thank her for her support. We've always, as Tarrant County, we've always engaged Teresa and Tarrant County in any event. Some of you have heard of we've had a Tarrant County hosted vendor fair, which was hosted on Tarrant County College, and Teresa has been a great asset to us in terms of being a part of that. So we've always included Tarrant County in every effort we can to support. And finally, Judge, I'd like to present, you weren't there, she received this, founding members of the agency last April. We provided a plaque, so I'd like to present this to you on behalf of North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency as a founding member, advocate, and visionary of creating the agency 26 years ago.
Okay.
And all other duties as assigned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your presence. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, we do not have anything to discuss in closed today.
With that, then, we will stand adjourned.
No close.
Pretty good, then.